Morning.
And they're getting there. Good morning and welcome. Bryony Thomas here, live with Alison Edgar, the entrepreneur's godmother, to have a chat with everyone about our fantastic event top tips. Good morning, Alison. How are you?
Good morning, Bryony. I am on top of the world.
Fantastic. Now, I'm just going to do that really weird thing of looking at myself on another device to check that we are indeed live into the group, which we are, which is fantastic. I can now put that away. I always like to check on another device. We sit here just chatting away into the ether.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time I've done this and not recorded or not gone live, Bryony, so well done you for checking.
I've hit record. It says live on Facebook. I've checked on my other device. So there's a tip for you. When running online events, double check.
It says it online too, so we're fine.
Excellent. So the reason we're here today is that this time next week, on the 26th of June, Alice and I will be together in the same room, which will be fantastic. We are both the keynote speakers at the Maidstone and Medway business show, which is run by Grow Kent. I shall be opening the day and Alison should be closing the day. So let's ask first, Alison, why did the Maidstone event appeal to you?
So I've actually done it before. They did it in a different location, but I've worked with the Grow Kent team and it was a really brilliant event. It was a full house, and previously they had great speakers. So when I did the last one, it was Warren Knight and Steve Clark. So I was really keen to go back because they're a great audience, they're great learners, they're really interactive. And of course, sharing a great lineup with yourself, why would I not go back?
Indeed. Well, it's one of those events, isn't it, that when you look at the lineup and you think they've got some really good people, some really good sponsors. And I think they've actually themed it really nicely as well for businesses to get what they need. It's all sales and marketing themed, with the addition of a cybersecurity session, which is obviously moving to the top of the agenda these days. So I suppose one of the first top tips about choosing events to appear at is looking at what's on the agenda.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's so important because I think because they're looking at that, you know that the people in the room will be actually interested in what you've got to say. Sometimes if you go to say something that's all AI or something else and you're kind of extra to the wheel, like you're on the outskirts, people aren't so interested in your topic. So I think, again, when it's a top tip for speakers, if you know it's something around your actual specialism, that it's a great thing to be involved in.
Yeah, but one of the things that we do with all of our clients is get people to understand what is their umbrella theme and then kind of have three core messages beneath that. And I think when you're looking at events, providing it speaks to the theme, then it's going to be, the people in the audience are going to be relevant, as you say, and interested in what you're doing. So a good first top tip. The other thing that appealed to me about the event was that it's an event within a community. So what Carol and her team have done over many years is nurture a community of business owners in the Kent area, which is very different from events that kind of bring together random strangers. There are going to be people that know each other, aren't there?
Yeah, it's really good. And actually, I spoke at an event recently down in the New Forest, and there's another community like that, and you feel so welcome. And I think that's another thing, about Grow Kent as well. You feel really welcome. And I think already I've had messages from people who heard me speak the last time who are coming to hear me speak again, which is, and it's always, as a speaker going into a venue, it's always nice to have a few friendly faces, especially when it's at the other end of the country.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're kind of ready to learn, aren't they? And in what you've just said, there's another top tip, which is connect with people in advance of the event.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got people as well. So there's sort of two sides to my business for the people that haven't met me before. I've got the entrepreneur's godmother, which will work with the startups, micros, owner managed businesses, so the small companies. Then the other side of my business, Sales Coaching Solutions, works with sales teams. So what did happen, we've had a couple of inquiries from Kent, but they've never actually met me before. And they've been dragging out a little bit for various reasons. Like, again, on Sales Coaching Solutions side, a lot is to do with this team being in place at the time, because you don't want to, if you're going to recruit, you don't want to do the training at the wrong time. So
Absolutely.
another great thing is that I've been back in contact with them and saying, look, I'm at this event in Kent, be fantastic to see you. So a couple of people who I didn't meet at the previous one but were inquiries from Kent, I've also invited. So and again, you know yourself, Bryony, people buy people, and if you've heard somebody or met somebody, you're more likely to close the sale. So absolutely. I think that's another top tip is, you know, I was going to say rummage, maybe that's not the right word, strategically contact your LinkedIn connections in the geographic of where you're going. And that's another thing that, you know, we have done, not cold call, we're obviously linked into them, but we've warmed it up by saying, look, it'd be fantastic to meet you at Grow Kent. I'm speaking at this event on this time on my topic. And again, we've had good interaction back from that as well.
Yeah, it's a really important tip, because I think often people think about events as lead generation, and we will get onto that as a topic in a moment. But what you're saying really, and wholeheartedly agree, to turning things upside down, working bottom up, is invite local clients. You know, if you already know them, then invite your clients who are in the area, and then have a look at kind of warmer prospects in that nurturing piece. Because I found at events, sometimes just having a coffee corner and sitting down with people that you haven't had the opportunity to have an in-person chat with because it's local to them. So I've done so similarly. I'm making really good use of being up there the night before. I'm having a meal with potential joint venture partner during the day. We've got a number of local people who we know are interested coming along, and a few of our we have our Watertight Marketing Experts Network, and we've got a really nice group coming together in the Southeast. So of course they're all coming along. Which means we'll also take the opportunity to get photos together, make use of all being in one space.
Oh, for sure. And great for brand recognition, again, in other parts of the country. And I think the other thing that I would, and you'll have this as well for some of the bigger companies that you want to work with. It's always that thing that people like people in their local area or the geographic, and they think, oh, if she's got to travel from the southwest to Kent, she's going to put her price up and it will cost me more, whereas I can get a local supplier cheaper. But if they can see that you're willing to travel to events like Grow Kent, then again, it just gives you more of a competitive edge over people in the local area.
Yeah, definitely. So really good for client loyalty, lead nurturing and conversion, as well as lead generation. So let's move on to lead generation, because I think often events and exhibitions, because we both have a stand as part of being the keynote speaker there, and stands can be a lot of effort. Let's not underestimate this.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think, and it's one of the biggest faux pas I see people making, especially, I mean, I did the business show at Excel in London, and it was 2 days and the footfall was 30,000. I mean, it was the biggest show that we've ever done.
That's a lot of print if you give everyone a leaflet.
Well, do you know, we tend, and again, I think it's an interesting thing about leaflets, which again fits into your marketing side, that some people will use that, but again, a lot of people just put them straight in the bin. And to me, it's about getting the data inward rather than giving the information outward that tends to be more, we get better conversions from that.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah. Completely agree with you. And I think we the other thing which we did, which was a big investment, but has paid off, we've had ROI back, is we sponsored the main stage.
I saw that on social media. So the fact that I wasn't there, Alison, and I can describe it. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, and I wasn't in the room, so this shows the power of social media from an event. Even though we're at Grow Kent, we will be all over social, won't we, Alison?
Well, for sure.
Yeah. So which increases the reach of your event. But Alison at the business show had the entire seminar space was pink, because pink is Alison's colour. I've promised not to wear pink next week. And the whole, as you went into the seminar stand, it was branded all around the top. You had to walk through the Entrepreneur Godmother door. I mean, there was no doubting that you were there, Alison.
No, and you know, one of our things, we did the business show 2 years ago. We launched the Godmother, the Entrepreneur's Godmother, at the business show. And it was really interesting because my whole theory is it's better to be bold than boring. People might not like bold, but they will remember bold. And I think that's where it was really interesting, because we had people like Brad Burton, we had Stephen Smith, the founder of Poundland, we had like all the top keynotes. But what happened is we're in the video because they videoed all of that. So my branding, my face is all over every video on that stage. So again, I think, you know, it's what sometimes with exhibitions, and I think a lot of people go, oh, I did that one and it didn't work. But sometimes it's not necessarily the there and then, it's the brand awareness. And especially for us going to Kent, where again, you know, you've got more of a national reach because of the way your business model works. But for me, under the Entrepreneur's Godmother, it is predominantly a lot of our stuff is Southwest or London, but we never really reach over to Grow Kent. So that's why, you know, what's my expectation? Do I expect on the day I'm going to sell thousands of pounds? No, not really. But are thousands of people going to know my brand name and what I do? And when it comes time, are they going to buy from me? Yeah, they would choose me over a competitor. And I think a lot of it is doing exhibitions like Grow Kent. It's a lot of subliminal advertising and long-term, you know, getting your brand out there.
Yeah. So there were 3 tips that I had, just to summarise what Alison and I have been discussing. So the first is to extend the reach of an event, even if it's regional, by going a bit crazy on social, and having the branding such that you show up in the background of other people's social shots and videos, so that the kind of the branding hit extends beyond the day. And then the other thing that I've heard there from what you've just talked about is think strategically about where you're having these events, kind of geographically. And I would just add into that if you are going to be doing geographic events, build into your data, into your inbound data, somewhere where people tell you where they are in the country, because it can be really helpful for your email marketing to be able to identify within your data, which can, you know, you can do that through their websites, etc., getting their company addresses, so that you can identify where people are and invite them along. Now, we did just mention that we both believe that the best thing to do is to have inbound leads at events, and we've both put together some phenomenal offers that we believe will get people coming along to our stand. So what's on offer from you on the 26th of June?
So we, not even just on the 26th of June. So I've got a joint venture partner as well in the e-learning space. So we do a lot of online courses, which are paid for courses. But what we've done is we've created some absolutely top drawer short courses, because I think sometimes with a lot of the online courses, people can go into overwhelm because they think it's too much. So we've done them really short, really concise, one on starting a business and one on how to sell. And they last no longer than about 15, 20 minutes, but the top tips are brilliant. So, and again, that's the other benefit, that if you have got something electronic like that, people have to subscribe into it. They then move into the mailing list, which again, you know, the mailing list is key to anything that you want to do.
So you have 2 free taster courses, one on starting up a business and one on selling.
Yeah, and the other thing that we will be doing is we will be doing a draw around copies of the book, the Secrets of Successful Sales, and they can have that either the paperback copy, the Kindle edition, or my new audio book that I have just narrated, which has absolutely been back-breakingly difficult as a dyslexic, because I keep adding words, taking words away and making the whole thing up. So although I wrote the book, it's been really hard. So we'll be giving away free copies, but we'll do that as a prize draw, which again is another top tip. That and not just getting the data, but you know, obviously now with GDPR, making sure they're double opted in, but people that are genuinely want your free things, not just any free things, because otherwise your data just I call it dirty data. And
you end up with data of people who like champagne, don't you? Which is all well and good if you sell champagne.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of people make that faux pas, I think, at events that, you know, the champagne or the chocolates or the whatever, and they just get, I call them the, you know, the pen pinchers, that they're
Yeah,
not
freebie hunters,
genuine
absolutely.
interested. And I think that's another top tip, that whatever you're doing, make it relevant to what you do, because
Yeah.
if they're not interested in what you do, they won't put their card in or they won't contact you. And to be honest, they're just wasting your time, because they're dirty data in your clean database, and nobody wants dirty data.
No, so we call this invitation information. And one of the key tips that we give people is to always ensure that that invitation invites a conversation about something that is relevant, so on topic and on theme. So we also have a few things that we're doing on the day. So everybody who's coming along to Grow Kent can get a free digital copy of Watertight Marketing. And the first 25 people to come along get a signed copy of the paperback. Now, we don't have an audio. I'll tell you why I don't have an audio book. It's because there are so many pictures. There's a diagram about every 3 pages.
Yeah.
Which makes audio description a little bit tricky. So come along, we're on stand 51 and 57. Alison and I have combined our stands. I know 51 and 57 don't sound like they're next to each other, but they are. And we will be there together. So come along, you can pick up your free copy of Watertight Marketing. You can enter Alison's drawer to pick up her copy of Secrets of Successful Sales, which I've also read and is fantastic. They go together brilliantly as books. The other thing we're doing is we're giving away, so if you come over to the stand and chat to Lou Johnson, who'll be with me, you can, if you sign up on the day with us, you can get our free 90-minute guided touchpoint leak assessment. So for anyone who's read Watertight Marketing, this is it's the part in the book that helps you to prioritize, because there are so many things one could do, but what should you do? So we have a tool that helps people to organise all their very many ways that they could spend money on marketing to work out what they should be doing first. So there's a 90-minute video guided touchpoint leak assessment. If you come over to the stand, we can sign you up for that on the day. So normally £95 on our site. So great offer. And we will both be there. So come and have a little social selfie with us.
Yeah, and you know, it's really interesting because obviously we follow each other on social media, and I knew your offer before. So again, I think that's another great top tip, is get it out on social, and people will already start to flock to your stand. So many people don't do the pre-organisation. And you know, the other thing we haven't obviously talked about is the follow-up, and that's where the fortune is, in the follow-up. And for me, again, it's that combination between sales and marketing that puts the ball in the hole. And I think, again, the follow-up email, but still picking up the phone, is the next step to closing those sales and building those relationships.
And I think picking up the phone is so important. It's so important. And don't do it 6 months later. You know, it needs to be whilst they can remember you. And of course, neither Alison or I are easy to forget, but it is important that your follow-up is timely, because people are busy. So as the sales expert here, Alison, what would your recommended follow-up be from someone who, for example, came and got the free copy of the book on the stand?
So first of all, I think purpose is really important. And I think it's where people fall down in sales, that they go and you go, how did you find the show? What do you think of the book? Or, you know, the purpose of the call is to find out, you've had a free copy of the book, Watertight Marketing or Secrets of Successful Sales. What do you intend to do with it? What are the areas that you feel that you're struggling with? So again, it's got to have a really clear purpose. And what I do is I tell them to set the table. So, you know, I just wanted to find out, just a couple of minutes to ask you some questions. How does that sound to you, Bryony? Oh, yeah, that's great. So what was it? What's the areas? And you're really then trying to, you know, we both know from the sales and marketing perspective, it's like bingo. You can only win the bingo when what you sell matches what the customer needs, not what the customer wants, but what the customer needs. And the only really, you know, to determine those leads are by the follow-up phone call. And another one of my top tips, you know, if you do have a busy exhibition stand, it's really important that you identify the wheat from the chaff, because you can have the pen pinchers taking up all your time and your energy. This is the thing with exhibitions, energy has got to be at a high all the time, which if it's a 2-day show and you've been out for drinkies with clients the night before, and you know it's really important. So again, this is a real gold dust tip. And a lot of people, in fact, most people don't use it. So this is gold dust. So they have to get to the end to get to the gold dust. So when somebody does come on the stand, oh, wow, it's great to see you here in Kent. What was the reason you came to the exhibition? Because you know what? Then you'll find out that, oh, I was just looking around, or, oh, actually, I came to see you, or actually, I came to see Bryony. All right, and what were you hoping to get at the end of it? You know, what were you looking to do? And then what you want to do is get your, you know, find out, you know, is there something there potentially as a client? So, you know, oh, yeah, I came to see you. Oh, what was it you wanted? It's really quite busy at the exhibition. What my suggestion is, we have a little 15-minute Skype or phone call within the next few days. Where's your diary? So again, the assumptive close is where's your diary? Let's get a date in the diary. And what that does, it saves your energy and your time, and you've got a good prospect to follow up on. Yeah. And rather than having to go through the cards at the end or the data at the end, you've already appointed the really hot ones.
And I mean, 20 good appointments is better than 200 random business cards.
Oh, for sure. And again, you know, make sure that when you put that appointment in for the follow-up that you're given a calendar invite. So just say, oh, don't worry, Bryony, what I'll do is I'll just send you the calendar invite and then that's it, and job done. Great. Well, it's really nice to speak to you. I'll speak to you later. And then you can politely move on to the next one. Yeah. And especially, I mean, at the business show in London, we were cute. And I had to, as a team, make sure that we were doing that. And that's how we got the ROI, to be fair.
Fantastic. So I'm going to do a really quick summary of everything that Alice and I have chatted about. So first of all, we talked about choosing shows that are relevant to what you talk about. We talked about branding your presence. So if you're going to be doing it, make sure that you set it up so that you show up in a way that is clear, that is memorable, that is bold. We talked about going through your database, inviting clients, inviting prospects, and doing both loyalty driving and nurturing. We've talked about extending the reach of your events by maximising your social media activity whilst you're there. We've talked about generating inbound leads with relevant offers. We can all generate people who are interested in bubbly, but what we need is people who are interested in what you actually sell. And we've talked about the energy on the stand, keeping that up, maintaining it. I've got 2 people coming along, you've got a colleague coming along, so you really need some help on the day, and making sure that your follow-up is timely, pertinent, and ideally you get things booked in on the day.
Yeah,
these are fantastic tips. So let's close off by just telling everybody what it is we're talking about. So Alison, when's your keynote on the day?
So I'm near the end. I'm the closer. I think you probably know this better than me. I think it's 4 o'clock.
Around then.
Yeah, about 4. It's late afternoon, but ideally it would be good if people came before that, because I can catch up with them before I go on stage and then they can hear me. So we'll be there all day. We're there from the night before, so anytime at all, but make sure they don't go off home early because I'm on the last slot.
Yes. It's. I think they've kept it so that people will stay all day because Alison's on at the end. So I will be opening the conference room. There are some breakfast sessions before me. There's a cybersecurity briefing, and I think there's a LinkedIn briefing. I'll be kicking off the conference day at 9:15 with a session called "There's a Hole in Your Bucket, Dear Business," where we'll be talking about why really the stuff that the lead generation activity that people think of as marketing is often the last thing that a growing business should look at. So I'll be doing that at 9:15. And then why not head on over to stand 51 and 57, where Alison and I will be hanging out with our teams, giving away our goodies and having excellent conversations with people who want to grow their businesses sustainably.
And signing our books.
Absolutely. That's the ultimate shot, isn't it, for an author? Yeah. It never gets boring. 200 books down, it's still not boring. I mean, it makes your hand hurt, but... Wonderful. Are there any other closing things that you'd like to say today, Alison?
No, just thank you so much. I'm a big fan of watertight marketing, and I do agree that the 2 books really complement each other really well, because I think it's when sales and marketing work together that actually we make money, and that's why it's really important that people, take use both methodologies. And
we are taking that to a practical extension by working together on our stands next week on the 26th of June in Maidstone. It's a free event to attend, so all you need to do is register, and I will put the link in the comments to this video. So thank you for your time this morning, Alison. I'm looking forward to the drive up almost as much as I am spending a day on the stand with you. So looking forward to that. Lots of love. Bye everyone.
Bye. Thank you.